Um, I know it's going to be after that.
Welcome, welcome, Rotarians and guests, to the Rotary Club of York, where our mission is to improve life in the city of York by connecting our club's diverse community leaders through fellowship, action, and service. I am your almost past president, Will DeReam. So let's start our meeting by reciting the four-way test. Please join me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Today, our opening song, America the Beautiful, and the pledge will be led by Steve Feldman, followed by the invocation by District Governor nominee Aaron Jacobs, and visitor introductions by Lynn Morrison.
I used to belong to an organization that when election time came around, had an election for the past president. I was like, how do you do that? Okay, we're singing America the Beautiful. Please join me. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rotarians, please join me in a moment of prayer. Dear God, we give you thanks for this wonderful, glorious day, and we give you thanks for this wonderful, glorious, prominent nation as we soon approach our 250th birthday, which we'll hear more about today. And as we do so, Lord, we ask that you give us the courage and the wisdom to have better conversations with our national neighbors, that we approach communication with a sense of what we have in common and what we're joyous about, so that when there's something that we disagree on, we can listen and speak with a sense of respect. And Lord, we ask you that you would bless the food we had today. We ask you bless the members that are here with us today and the members who are not able to join us. We ask that you bless our leadership, our service, and overall, God bless the Rotary Club of York. Amen.
Good afternoon. I have the pleasure and honor of introducing our guests for today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand at your place and remain standing until President Wilda welcomes you. First, we're welcoming Joseph Stefko, guest of Tom Caltagirone. Sanaya Phillip, guest of Youth Exchange. Casey Elliott, here with our speaker. And Suli Pinos, guest of Kevin Schreiber.
Guests, we're so glad to have you with us today. Whether this is your first visit or you're back again, it's always a pleasure to have new faces in the room. If what you see here today resonates with you, we'd love to have you consider becoming part of our Rotary family. Rotarians, please help me welcome our visitors. You may be seated. Okay, and now for our announcements this week. The Membership Recruitment Committee will meet at 1:30 today downstairs in the Mixed Grill. There will be a club meeting next week. I don't know if it's for the first time in club history, but President Doug has spoken. So, and I really want to have a club meeting next week too. So the Fundraising Projects Committee will meet on July 1st at 10:30 here at the Country Club, and the IDEA Committee will meet on July 6th at 9 o'clock on Zoom. The Communications Committee reminds you to register in Club Runner for their fake event on July 24th. This is to give you experience in signing up for events in Club Runner. The first 100 people to register will win 2 tickets to the York State Fair and will be entered into a drawing to win a Rotary Club Yeti cooler. If you weren't here last week, it's really cool swag to win, so make sure you do that. To register, open the Club Runner app on your phone or desktop, navigate to the club events page, and click on the practice event on July 24th in the calendar and sign up from there. The Living Word Community Church is continuing their ongoing work in Sandafa, Ethiopia, where we partnered with them to complete our Bottle House Toilet Global Project. Each summer, they send a group to Sandafa. This year, 3 of our club members, Sarah White, Melanie Weissman, and Andy Siebold, will be part of this team. Andy has shared a volunteer opportunity to help pack medical supplies, school supplies, care kits, and food supplies for this trip to Sandafa. Volunteers are needed on Sunday, July 5th from 12:15 to 2:15 p.m. at Living Word. Andy is here today? No? Okay. Well, if you don't know Andy, you can contact him. You can find his information in Club Runner, the member directory. If anyone is interested, again, please see Andy or email him. The Youth Exchange Committee asks that I remind you that they are still searching for host families to host our inbound exchange student from India for 3 months during the coming school year. Please see any member of the Youth Exchange Committee for more information. If you're on Youth Exchange, you just wave your hand. They're all at this table. Made it very easy for you. And now I invite President-elect Doug Berman to the podium for an exciting announcement.
Thank you, President Wilda. I actually have 2 announcements, but first I just did want to say congratulations to Suli Pinos. You've now attended as many meetings this year as Kevin Schreiber. So before I share some exciting news on behalf of the Executive Director Search Committee, I do want to offer my congratulations to President Wilda. This evening, President Wilda will be honored and recognized as one of Central Pennsylvania Business Journal's 2026 Women of Influence. So please join me in recognizing Wilda. As many of you know, the Women of Influence honorees are selected based on professional experience, community involvement, and a commitment to mentoring. Congratulations to Wilda on everything you've accomplished. Now I'd like to provide an update on our Executive Director Search Committee. First, I'd like to recognize the committee members. You don't have to stand, but President Wilda, Financial Vice President BJ Fegley, President-elect nominee Kelly Gibson, the incoming President-elect of the York Rotary Foundation, Amy Anstein, and HR Committee Chair Joan Mummert, along with support from our HR consultant, Ben Allett, from the Alternative HR. You will recall this process started back in March when our executive director, Lynn Morrison, stabbed me in the back. Announced her retirement which will be effective on August 15th of this year. So thank you to all of our members who did share our postings of the executive director position. We had a great response. We had over 25 applicants, and the HR consultant definitely was helpful in terms of screening the initial applicants. We ended up with 15 resumes that went to the search committee, and then we did invite 5 for a round of interviews, and then ultimately a second round of in-person interviews. And I'm proud to announce that on June 11th, we did extend an offer to who happens to be a member of this club to be our next executive director, and received her acceptance on June 15th. Now that all clearances and background checks have been completed, it's my distinct pleasure to announce today for the first time that the next executive director of the Rotary Club of York will be our own Terry Travers. I know Terry's here. Terry, can you just stand and give a wave? So Terry brings more than 2 decades of nonprofit leadership experience with a strong background in community programming, youth development, and organizational operations. Throughout her career, she's demonstrated a deep commitment to building meaningful connections and creating programs that positively impact individuals and families. Terry's passionate about strengthening organizations and expanding opportunities that improve lives across the community. The Rotary Club of York looks forward to her leadership, and the organization continues its mission of service of itself. Terry's official first day with us will be on July 6th, providing us about 5 weeks of overlap time with Lynn. So Lynn will be able to help train her, help the onboarding process, and share all the wisdom that Lynn has gathered over the past 5 years. And I do want to just, again, publicly announce my appreciation for all Lynn has done over these 5 years. While it's disappointing we had to go through this exercise, it is the club's in a far better place because of all the work that you've done. So Terry's stepping into a much better position, a much stronger organization than we were 5 years ago. So we're all looking forward to working with Terry in this new role. An announcement will go out to the rest of the membership this afternoon, and then our social media will be tomorrow or early next week. So be on the lookout for those things. But again, we're excited to have worked through this process and thrilled to have Terry joining us in this role. So thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you for your leadership of the search committee. As having had done that the last time around, I was happy not to have to do that again. And I told Doug we're not doing this again. So Terry, noted. So Doug and I also served on the search committee for Lynn, so 5 years ago. So Terry, congratulations. We're excited to have you on board and excited to see where you take the club next. And now District Governor nominee Aaron Jacobs will give us his report from the Rotary International Convention.
Thank you, President Wilda. First, I want to say what a great sense of gratitude I have that I was able to go to the other side of the planet to represent the Rotary Club of York. And it's really kind of hard to describe what that experience is, other than to say it's the most immersive Rotary experience I've ever participated in my journey as a Rotarian. And to give you the details on it, it's 37,000 Rotarians around the world come together in one city to talk about Rotary. Luckily, it's a nice blend of going out and seeing the landscape, the cuisine and culture of Taipei while I'm there, while also doing breakout sessions and meeting with other Rotarians and learning some new ideas. And that's kind of the gist of the conference. But I was kind of asked to send or to share my reflective piece on what I kind of took away from that trip. And I'd like to do that now in kind of 3 summaries here. And here's the first one. Here's my first takeaway. The Rotary Club of York is a really big club. I know that's not the aha moment, but the reason why I say that, my guilty pleasure when I was meeting other Rotarians, we would talk about our clubs, and the most distinguishable describer people would use about their club is their membership. And I would politely listen to them say 30, 50, sometimes close to 100. And they say, and how about your club? And you just kind of 300 and just watch their face. It never gets old. But what it made me realize is what a real gift we have in our own little Rotary Club here, that if you've never experienced Rotary outside of this walls, you have no idea how good you have it at this club. That when you leave today, you should think two things. Thank God for the Rotary Club of York, and thank God I'm a York Rotarian. That's point number one. The second point is, despite our size, is that we're really kind of small on the global stage. I kind of realize how insignificant we are in global representation and service projects and partnerships around the world, that a club like ours should and can be doing more. I've kind of been sharing some ideas with Doug there, and what I'd like to do is challenge this club to up its game in how we represent ourselves in global projects and sharing our expertise and resources around the world with other clubs and communities. Sound like a good idea? Excellent. Okay, we're on a path here, Doug. And then the third thing here is this, is when you talk about the global community and so forth, I want you to understand the International Assembly is not reserved for Rotary royalty. It is meant for every Rotarian anywhere of any time and any stage of Rotary. I met people who've been to 10 conferences. I met people who just joined Rotary in less than a year. And I say this to you because sometimes I think we don't avail ourselves of how large and what resources we have in Rotary in a global sense of things. And I would strongly encourage you to consider being more involved of Rotary outside of these walls. That said, next year, who knows where the International Assembly is next year? Anybody know? Kelly. Barcelona, Spain. I will be going. I strongly think that we should, as a club, have some kind of entourage as a representation at this International Assembly. If this even remotely interests you and you're not sure, please talk to me. I'd like to see us to get at least 5 or 6 people from this club to go there, because I want our big club to have a big Rotary world. Sound good? Good. So I'm going to end this with 3 stats about my trip. So, number 1, I only got food poisoning once. On the subway, nonetheless. I only got lost twice. And I only spent a little over 30 hours in the air going back and forth to Taiwan. But it was completely worth it to make 36,999 new friends. Thank you, Rotary.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you for sharing the impact that the convention had on you. I know we enjoyed, I was there, well, you'll see next week, I have a picture of myself and the Hoovers in Calgary, which was fun. So not quite as exotic as Taiwan, but it was beautiful. Next up, we have Sarah Bradley, Chair of the Fundraising Committee, with an update for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just want to say, Lynn, it's been a pleasure working with you as the Executive Director through the Fundraising Committee of Rotary. And Terry, where's Terry? Congratulations. Yep, I look forward to you and working with you in this role. So thank you. Again, Sarah Bradley, I'm the chair of the Fundraising Committee here at the York Rotary Club. And as everyone is aware, that service above self is the motto of our Rotary Club. And we bring that to life annually through the Love for Community event. The signature fundraiser brings together Rotarians, oh, thank you, community leaders, sponsors, and friends for a day of friendly competition. I know there are some out there that are more competitive than others. Philanthropy and fellowship right here at the Country Club of York. And I just want to take a second to thank our presenting sponsors for this year. So can we please give a round of applause for Fox 43 and North Industrial Chemicals? In addition to that, participants on this day can enjoy a variety of activities. How many of you have been to a Love for Community event before? Oh, so most of you already know. For those that don't know, you should be there. It is a day full of fun and fellowship. You can golf, play tennis, pickleball, croquet, cornhole, have dinner and just have fellowship at the evening meal. And we also have participation in a silent and live auction. More than just a day of fun, the Love for Community event, if you are not aware, raises critical funds and supports programs that address the Rotary priorities throughout York. Over the years, that has meant that those proceeds have supported initiatives that are focused on youth, violence prevention, veterans programs, social justice efforts, and many other of our community impact projects. The event showcases the Rotary Club of York's commitment to improving lives through service while bringing people together to celebrate community, generosity, and friendship. Whether you participate in one of the activities, sponsor the event, which we are still seeking, donate auction items, which we are also still seeking, or simply join us for dinner, your support helps strengthen the entire community and our Rotary Club as a whole. Please join us this year on September 14th, right here at the Country Club of York, as we come together to make a difference and demonstrate our love for community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. It's a great event. Again, if you haven't been, please plan to attend and also sponsor the event. I'm excited to say, I think we can say with some confidence that we will have a project identified by then, around then. So all of the money that is being raised will have a project identified for what those funds are going to go for. And I know that it will, I can say with certainty that it will impact kids in the city of York. So please make a note on your calendar to join us that evening. And now past President Bryan Tate will introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, President Wilda. It's great to be back up at the podium. You'll recall this year I was at the podium a lot, pitching and then also emceeing our club's 110th anniversary, which was a really big deal to be a part of something magnificent for all of these years. Now I'm here to introduce you to the mastermind behind the celebrations we're having here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a part of America250PA. And then after that presentation, Commissioner Wheeler and I will talk to you about what's happening here in York on the 4th of July. So I'm here to present Cassandra Coleman, who is the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Commission for the United States Semiquincentennial. Let's all say that together. Semiquincentennial. See, it's easy. I don't know why people stumble over that word. Better known as America250PA. She was appointed in September 2019 and is the longest serving state 250th director in the nation, and that's outstanding. Prior to her appointment, Cassandra served as special advisor to Governor Tom Wolf and director of Governor Wolf's Northeast and Central offices. In this role, she was responsible for intergovernmental and constituency services on behalf of the governor in 28 counties. In 2014, Cassandra founded and served as president of Coleman and Associates, a company engaged in charitable, private, and political creation of fundraising networks and community and political event planning. Coleman and Associates maintain a client base of state, county, and local political candidates, large and small companies, and nonprofit organizations. Cassandra has spent a lifetime in public service, beginning at a very young age. At the age of 20, Cassandra was appointed mayor of her hometown of Exeter Borough to fill her late grandfather, Mayor Joseph Coyne's unexpired term. Following her appointment, Cassandra was reelected mayor twice and was one of the youngest female mayors in the history of the United States. She is a proud 2006 graduate of Wyoming Area High School, as well as a graduate of King's College, where she recently received an honorary doctorate following serving as commencement speaker. Cassandra is the proud mother to Jimmy IV, age 11, and continues to reside in Exeter, Luzerne County, Pennsylvania. Cassandra spoke to us a couple years ago about America250PA, and today will be updating us on its epic work preparing Pennsylvanians for the Semiquincentennial. Welcome, Cassandra.
So good afternoon, folks. It's 2026. I don't even know what day it is at this point. I say good afternoon. That's better. So thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Bryan. It is and has been an amazing 6+ months so far. But as Bryan mentioned, I've been working on this for 8 years. So to think back to the day that Governor Wolf called and said, "Hey, Cass, this legislation was passed. I really want you to take a look at it. Can you figure it out? And I was like, what is this? So ultimately, the legislation was passed in 2018. And at that point, I was still trying to figure out exactly what the semi-quincentennial was. I was not born yet for the bicentennial. So I started researching, I started looking it up, and I went back to the governor and I said, this could really be something spectacular. There really isn't a roadmap. We can build this, we can engage communities, and this could really be impactful. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about how we got to where we are, all of the things that have been happening over the last 6 months, and kind of what the next 6 months are going to look like as we close out 2026. So as I mentioned, and I know a lot of you are familiar with America250PA, but we were created by the legislature, again, back in 2018. And right out of the gate, Governor Wolf and I sat down and said, we need to, again, remember, this is 8 years ago. No one was focused on 2026 at that point. So we sat down and we said, you know what, we have to make sure that we're giving this commission the legitimacy and the credibility it needs, and again, to really have that impact. So he got on the phone and he called all of the former governors and he said, we want you to co-chair this with us. All of them agreed. And then when the administration changed, Governor Wolf came on as a co-chair, and of course, Governor Shapiro joined us as well. So the commission itself is made up of 24 appointed members and ex officio members, some of the larger state agency secretaries, as well as the row officers. And we're chaired by Pat Burns out of Delaware County. Something that was very important from day one was to ensure that we had diverse perspectives at the table. So the advisory committee is appointed by the commission. And then, of course, my background's in local government. We wanted to make sure that every community, every county across this Commonwealth had representation and that they were part of the overall celebrations. So we created a county advisory committee, which is the appointments made by the county commissioners. And I have to say, another proud moment, Pennsylvania was the first state in the nation to have all counties pass a 250th resolution, becoming partners and ensuring that we were on this road together. We also have over 400 nonprofits representing 58 counties. These are the folks, again, who were here long before us, who are going to be here long after us, doing the work on the ground, improving their communities. So we are so proud to be partnering with them. And as I mentioned about the legislation, we were created, but we were created without an appropriation. So we were actually provided a $100,000 startup grant. And the governor said, here, Cass, again, figure this out. We went out and we had raised $1 million from private interests across the Commonwealth and went back to the legislature and the governor in 2021 and said, okay, we now need support. And up to this date, we are a true public-private partnership, 50-50 match from the state dollars and the private interests. These are the folks, the Semiquincentennial Founders Circle, who stepped up early and who stepped up very generously to allow us to build this foundation. So our overall mission is that we are striving to make this year epic as we educate, preserve, innovate, and celebrate everything that Pennsylvania has to offer. So we talked about how we got here. Now let's talk about 2026 and where we're going. So our kickoff events, again, one of the mission from day one was every county. Yes, the culminations in Philadelphia on July 4th, we get that. But every county has such history and so much to be proud of. We wanted to ensure that all of that was included. So we got on the road. My team looked at me like I had 8 heads when I said 14 days, 67 counties, we're doing this. And we did it. Governor Schweiker also said to me, Cass, you're nuts. But we did it. We had a little bit of some snow issues. We got stranded in Mercer County for 2 days, but we got to all 67 counties and we officially launched the 250th anniversary year again with those on the ground doing the work. We had a wonderful Women's History Month event with some of our former Pennsylvania First Ladies, as well as Dr. Biden, again, a Pennsylvanian, highlighting the contributions of Pennsylvania women to the overall American story. And all of the proceeds from that event actually went towards our scholarship program, which you'll hear about in a bit. Our Keystone Classroom Initiative and Liberty Trees. So again, another one of those moments where my team was like, she's nuts. I said, I want to reach 50,000 students, all 67 counties. How are we going to do this? Well, we did. As of December of 2025, we reached 50,000 of our youngest Pennsylvanians And all 67 counties, we went into the schools with historical reenactors, with community leaders. We approached our next generation at an age-appropriate level. I have an 11-year-old at home. We wanted to make sure that we were instilling that sense of Pennsylvania and community pride, and that they understood that important role that Pennsylvania has played, again, in that overall story of America. So we did it, and ultimately I want to thank so many in this room also helped us came and read and came and participated in some of these events. So thank you. We also planted our Liberty trees. 67 trees are planted. I know you have one here in York, so thank you so much for the sponsorship of that. And those are the trees, again, that the revolutionaries used to make their plans under 250 years ago. And now we have planted these trees and seeded them for the next generation to gather under. Our bells across PA and our Semiquin grants. Over 110 bells have been installed across Pennsylvania. We started this initiative by saying we were going to place one bell in all 67 counties. That was our original order. And the reception and just the embrace of these bells was absolutely amazing. So we are thrilled to be partnering with Visit Pennsylvania on our website and on Visit PA's website. There's a map that folks, we get emails that folks are traveling, they're finding the bells, they're taking photos with the bells, they're learning the history about the host sites, about the artists. So we're really, really excited about those. We also awarded over $1 million in local semi-quincentennial grants to 77 projects across 43 counties, again, investing in the local work that was going on. Our road to 2026 will end on July 4th in partnership with Independence, Highmark, and Capitol. We encourage folks to get out and log their miles in our beautiful state parks. And we have a number of folks who have done that and are continuing to do that. And then we have our podcast, which is available on our website as well. Our semi-quincentennial scholarships. This was one of, and I have a lot of memories and wonderful days from this work, but this was one of those top memories. We joined 25 seniors from across Pennsylvania at the governor's residence with the governor and first lady in April. We actually went through an application process. 1,800 applications came in from all 67 counties. We awarded $250,000 in scholarship dollars to Pennsylvania seniors attending a Pennsylvania college or university. We want to keep that talent here, folks, right? But what made this even better was our secondary institutions stepped up. And they said, you know what, this is such a historic moment. If the student actually takes your scholarship and agrees to attend our university, we'll match it. So we have a number of students who walked into their freshman year of college with $20,000. I mean, legacy, life-changing. So again, to see these students and their parents or guardians come to the residence and they were so appreciative. It was one of those days, again, that I will always, always remember. Our semi-quincentennial bells, these are bronze permanent bells. These are really there to tell the stories of the undertold or lesser known stories of Pennsylvania, the ones that have been left out of the history books. The Dennis Farm, the Holly Silk Mill, Camp Security, and downtown Allentown are 4 of the bells that have been placed thus far. We have 2 more to go, one in Gettysburg at the Dobbin House later this summer, which was a stop on the Underground Railroad. And our final bell will actually be placed at the Pennsylvania Capitol. On the fountain side of the Capitol, it will be engraved with all of our leadership and our governors over the last 250 years. And that bell will ring and again, will be a permanent fixture on the Capitol complex, which we're really excited about. Our Direct Effect Innovation Challenge, this will be our last year this November with the Direct Effect, partnering with over 40 colleges and universities across the Commonwealth, over 370 students. Again, we challenge them to come up with integrated marketing concepts for the challenge that we issue that year. And this year, it's going to be all around legacy. Pennsylvania Day, July 20th is coming up. We still have a need for volunteers on our website. These are food banking, food pantry opportunities, as well as beautification and community cleanup projects. So if you're available on July 20th for National Pennsylvania Day, again, I encourage you to please go to our website. This event is actually the largest 250th state organized event in the nation. So again, want to make sure that we keep that lead and that we close out 2026 strong. The Countdown to the 250th mobile experience. This has been on the road for a year. It actually stops traveling on July 5th, which will be a sad day. But, we actually reached, as you could see there, 60 counties with over 36,000 engagements with Pennsylvanians. We have our Pennsylvania trivia. We have our Commonwealth Chronicles, where you can go into the booth and tell your Pennsylvania story, which is then being cataloged and sent to the Pennsylvania archives. We also have an 8-bit video game that the kids loved called the Keystone Quest, where you can drive your Butler County produced Jeep around Pennsylvania and collect flags and coins, but you have to avoid things like the elk or the spotted lanternfly, or you lose your coins. So it has been a really, really wonderful experience to keep that moving. In May, we had our Memorial Flags Initiative in partnership with Essential. We actually went out into the communities and donated and placed over 25,000 flags on veterans and service member grave sites across the Commonwealth. We also have our Service Member Spotlight series, which is still ongoing on our website. Everyone in this room knows a Pennsylvania service member. Please go to the website and nominate them. All of them will be invited to our Veterans Day event at the end of this year. Our Commonwealth Concert Series. There's not much that could take me down. This series I thought was going to be it. 5 large-scale national concerts over a 6-week period. We kicked off in State College with Gabby Barrett and Cole Swindell. We moved up to Erie with the Fray and First to 11. We had Hershey with the Avett Brothers, Mike Patton, Joan Jett, and Chloe Flower. This past weekend, we had Lady A and In Vogue with Eddie Day and Carson Kressley. And I am actually leaving here and heading to Pittsburgh, where we will have Nelly and Third Eye Blind this weekend. Really an opportunity, as you can see some photos here, for Pennsylvania families to come together around a shared love of music, neighbor to neighbor, friend to friend, and really, again, create those memories, those semi-quincentennial memories like so many have from the bicentennial. Again, there's some more photos from some of the concerts. We also have our signature drinks, which are now available both in the Fine Wine and Good Spirits stores and on the Runaway Train Brewery website. We have our Declaration, we have our vodka partner out of the Lehigh Valley, and we have our Semi-Quintini with Jacquins out of Philadelphia. We also awarded $150,000 in lecture grants. These are still ongoing. They started in April. They'll end in October. You can go to our website or our social media. These are free to attend. So again, there are a couple more coming up. There are 5 of them in the late summer, early fall. So we really hope that you'll take advantage of these wonderful lectures. More upcoming. We have 5 choral concerts also happening across the Commonwealth starting next week in Pittsburgh. We worked with the Philadelphia Youth Choral Ensemble to commission a special piece for 2026 called Sing Democracy. So there'll be 5 of those shows, again, available on our website. Tickets will be free. We'll also be honoring all of the artists who lent their creativity and their talent to us through the Bells Across Pennsylvania program. We'll be honoring them at a luncheon in Pittsburgh in the fall. And we are working with the legislature, really, again, making sure that that next generation is brought into the mix here. We held our ceremonial meeting with the Pennsylvania Senate at the National Constitution Center in May, and we are working with the Speaker and the House of Representatives. We will be bringing the entire House, as well as 1 student from each House district, to Philadelphia, where the speaker will preside over a special session of the House inside Congress Hall, as the students are able to sit and watch that. So we're extremely excited about that. We're partnering with the appellate courts. We're going to have a whole day of just, again, an educational day for these students and quite an experience in Philadelphia. We've also been really lucky. As I mentioned, we have, the ex officio members, and our state agencies have stepped up. From the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, they put together in partnership with us our Geo Trail. Obviously, with Bells Across Pennsylvania, Visit PA has been wonderful through DCED. Department of Transportation partners with us every year on Pennsylvania Day, on the cleanup and litter cleanup initiatives. The Department of Education, which was really cool this year. I actually learned about this on a national call from my friends in Alaska, who said that they were actually putting their 250th logo on all of the graduating diplomas. And I said, we have to do this in Pennsylvania. So ultimately, we got the sign off from the Department of Education. So all of the diplomas across the Commonwealth this year had the 250 logo if the school opted in, which was amazing. So we're really excited about that. And I would be remiss if I did not give a huge shout out to our Pennsylvania State Police. They have been absolutely amazing from day one, ensuring that we could put all of these events on, but most importantly, put them on safely. They show up, they're there, and again, never question. They come and ask us what we need. So we're so appreciative of all of the agency support. Some other things that I know all of you are in multiple organizations, some low-cost activations that are coming up that we are hoping that as many organizations across the Commonwealth participate in and tag us so we can make sure we amplify this nationally. Light to Unite on July 4th in partnership with the National Flag Foundation, which is actually based in Pittsburgh. This is a national effort. If you have a building that has the ability to light up, we are asking all buildings to light red, white, and blue on July 4th, beginning at dusk. And again, it's all part of this national effort. We're trying to light here in Pennsylvania first. July 4th, bell ringing at noon. Any bell that you have access to, we'd like to make sure that we're ringing bells across the Commonwealth at noon. America's Potluck in partnership with America250 Utah is going to be happening on July 5th. And on July 8th, our friends in Hawaii have actually spearheaded this nationally, sharing the spirit of America, which is our reading of the Declaration of Independence in as many states, in as many communities as possible at 6 p.m. on July 8th. More information about each of these is on our website with different flyers that you could sign up to participate. So again, we do hope as many organizations join us with these activations. And again, social media, follow us, participate that way. And it is going to be an absolutely amazing next couple weeks and an amazing next couple months as we finish out this year. And Pennsylvania is just so proud to be the national leader. And it's because of the early support. It's because of the strong foundation that we were able to build here. It's because of folks like you who I know I was here 4 years ago, probably at this point, that stepped up early and said, yes, we want to do this. We want our communities involved. And again, we are, leading the nation because of that. So I want to thank you and thanks again for having me here today.
Oh, Cassandra left. I was going to say, let's give it up for Cassandra, but even though she left, let's give it up for Cassandra. So I think all of you know Bryan and I in our roles as elected officials, but in that role, we both stepped up to orchestrate a committee called History Made Here. Bryan is actually was appointed by the commissioners to serve on the America250PA commission. So he's represented York County as part of the America250PA initiative. But our committee for History Made Here was to celebrate 3 anniversaries in York County. The 275th birthday of the County of York, which was in 2024. This year, the country's 250th, and then next year, the 250th anniversary of the adoption of the Articles of Confederation. And we're going to tag team these slides. So
And that was actually my slide, so you can just keep going.
Sorry. Okay, so the county's 275th. We kicked off on August 17th. We had a wonderful block party down at Wellspan Park. Big shout out to Wellspan and York Revolution for partnering with us. All kinds of vendors, activities, was free for the public to join. We really wanted to make sure we had low cost options available for our residents, so nobody was arm strapped to have to pay a lot of money to enjoy these celebrations. As part of that, we had a parade. We were blessed to have the music of the honors choir, lots of proclamations, birthday themed games. It was a wonderful, wonderful way to kick off the county's 275th.
So then we moved into Sunday, the weekend of the county's birthday, and we had an incredible community mural project that was spearheaded by Ophelia Chambliss. She is such a great muralist in our community. So she took the themes from the banners that you'll see downtown and across communities in York County, and she created a paint by number mural that was divided into pieces. Each piece was on a different table at the Elks Club downtown, and people from the community stopped by during the day and added a portion of the painting, and then it was finally assembled. And it's now on the eastern side of the administration center, the old courthouse. So if you're going to the Yorktown Hotel in the back at the Arrival Plaza and you take a look up at the building next door, you'll see this beautiful mural there. But that was great that people in the community got to participate in that. And then we had a celebration event at the Capitol Theater, thanks to our friends at the Appel Center. Again, we were honored to have alumni from the York County Honors Choir. So it was their 25th anniversary as well. They were created as a part of York County's 250th birthday. So to have alumni who just love to come together and sing, come back together, that was great. Commissioner Wheeler provided a presentation about our community, but then we had a really special interview by our own York County historian, Jim McClure, who was interviewed by Gary Sutton. And it was great to hear their perspectives on York County's history, and also to hear more about the re-release of Jim's book, Never to be Forgotten, that included the following 25 years from when he first wrote it.
So then on Monday, which was the official anniversary birthday day, we had a lot of events planned. We held a ceremony down in the York County Administrative Center. We had a reading of the initial charter that was signed by Lieutenant Governor James Hamilton. We unveiled a plaque for the commemoration that now resides on the front of the county administration building. So we like to take credit for the bells across Pennsylvania that Cassandra talked about, because we did it first. So we did that to celebrate our 275th, because back in the day, that's how people were called into a town meeting. Bells rang and people assembled. So we did that at noon on August 19, 2024, and we are going to do it again on July 4th at noon this year.
So you heard Cassandra talk about the Liberty Tree Project. We were so proud that Rotary Club of York and the York Rotary Foundation stepped up to sponsor York's Liberty Tree. So it was planted on October 17th and dedicated in the front lawn of the York Colonial Courthouse, which is such an amazing place for that to reside. You know, if the Sons of Liberty were gathering under the Liberty Tree 250 years ago to talk about freedom and to talk about how they wanted government to be, this is the perfect spot for York Countyans to gather so that we all can talk about how we want our government to be. So it's awesome that our Preserve Planet Earth Committee will continue to steward and care for that tree in perpetuity. And we're hoping it grows big and strong and represents what we all care about: service above self. I do.
Sorry, just checking on Liberty Tree. So as you saw a photo that Cassandra presented, we dedicated our semi-quincentennial bell out at Camp Security. It was literally the hottest day of the year last year, but it went well. We'll be one of 6 across the Commonwealth to have one of these. This could not have been possible without the generosity of our philanthropic community. So no county taxpayer dollars were used to pay for this bell. Really, it was the philanthropic spirit of our community here. So if you haven't been to Camp Security, it's over in Springersbury Township. It is the last remaining Revolutionary War prisoner POW camp.
So we closed out the county's anniversary year with a ceremony that included a few elements. One of them that was especially special was the quilt that was created by the York Quilters Guild. Who even knew there was a York Quilters Guild? But there are people in this community who come together regularly to quilt. We asked them on very short notice if they would do a quilt for the county's birthday. They enthusiastically stepped up and they were up to the challenge. We wanted it to be representative of our whole community, and you'll hear that theme. It's really important that all York Countyans feel like they're a part of the county's birthday, the nation's birthday, and then also the celebration of the Articles of Confederation. So it was important to have that quilt have a patch for each one of our 72 municipalities. Who knew, though, some of the municipalities did not even have a logo or a seal. So it was an opportunity for someone on our county staff to create that for them. And now everybody is represented with that seal on the quilt. It will be on display in a few locations during our celebrations, but then it will eventually be a gift to the York County History Center so that it will remain in perpetuity for future generations to enjoy it. We were also thrilled that Congressman Smucker had a flag fly over the U.S. Capitol on on York County's birthday. He presented it to us at our closeout celebration.
And as you heard Cassandra say, she did the whirlwind tour in 2 weeks, and she joined us January 22nd of this year in the County Administration Building, where we officially kicked off the 250th birthday of the United States. Oh, okay. So you also heard Cassandra mention bells across Pennsylvania. So our semi-quincentennial bell was the first bell. But we are so blessed in our community to have collaborative partners like Kelly Gibson here in the Cultural Alliance. So we went to her and said, hey, we want to do some fiberglass bells. And again, in the spirit of really trying to incorporate as many municipalities as we can, we didn't just do one. We now have 7 fiberglass bells that were designed by local artists here in our community. You can see the list there of the artists and the name of the bells. And we did an unveiling of 6 of the bells last year on November 14th at the History Center.
Just to add to that, it's really cool. We are now dedicating each of those bells in their final resting places. We had one yesterday, the very first one that was designed by Ophelia Chambliss. We installed and dedicated that at the New Freedom Station. The majority of the bells are along the rail trail, so they're in highly accessible spots for people to get to see them and enjoy them.
Sorry, I thought we had a picture.
That's okay. Go back.
Yeah, go back. So Ophelia's is the 1, 2, 3, the 4th from the left or the 3rd from the right. So, sorry, 4th from the left, 3rd from the right. That's the bell we dedicated on Monday down in New Freedom. All of the bells, all but 2, are located right on the Heritage Rail Trail, so easy access for visitors and residents. The bell that represents our veterans and first responders will permanently reside at the Court of Valor. So we're very grateful to Prospect Hill Cemetery for allowing us to do that. And the other one that's not quite on the rail trail is up in Dillsburg, and that'll be the Dillsburg Borough office.
So incredible thanks again to Rotary Club of York for stepping up. I can only imagine what Cassandra's life has been for these 8 years, because I really thought that I was ending mine in trying to coordinate 72 municipalities to plant a tree. But thankfully, we have such great leadership from this club, and especially with our Preserve Planet Earth Committee. And I especially want to thank Joe Stein and Christian Fitzpatrick for stepping up. They taught 7 other Rotary clubs in York County about planting trees. So all 8 signed up to plant these 72 trees across York County. You know, a lot of municipalities don't feel included because everything significant often happens to be in the city of York. So this was really important to ensure that every municipality was included and has their own Liberty tree. So having each municipality find the right spot for that tree to be planted and dedicated and live forever, and then have Rotarians out there digging and planting and watering and now stewarding these trees. And each municipality will be dedicating those trees on their own for the next few months. It was really exciting. So we're especially thankful for this club to step up to lead the project, and then for all of the other 7 to participate in the way that they did. It was a fantastic day on April 11th, where we were all out there doing great stuff. And we also had the district governor join us for that project. So we were really pleased to have Mary Brunsky joining us in that.
Okay, so July 4th, lots of events going on across the county. So you can find, there's a little QR code there, you can click on that. Lots of municipalities are having their own activities. We've been, as I said earlier, on the History Made Here committee, we've been coordinating with local municipal leaders. Our events geared towards downtown. Certainly, we all know First Friday is July 4th. Please get out and enjoy a 4th of July block party. On July 4th, we have a cultural fair that's going to run from 9 to noon right on the Heritage Rail Trail by the History Center. And then at noon, we are going to have an official program to celebrate the 250th birthday. That'll kick off with the bells ringing. And then we have a nice program planned, music, readings, all types of things. We are going to be reading the Declaration of Independence that day. We will have some pregame events at Wellspan Park. We will have York Factory's Whistle is going to play some patriotic music. We're going to beat the Barnstormers on July 4th. We have a parade of veterans, really important for us to engage our veterans and veterans organizations and acknowledge that the price for freedom was paid by them serving and giving of themselves. So that will happen at 4:15. We'll have the game. And then when the game ends, open free to the public to come in. We'll have musical performances and we will round it off with a great firework display.
There. So we have a very full day planned for, well, actually a full weekend planned for everyone in our community. We're so fortunate too that by working with all the municipalities on other projects, each municipality is planning its own events for the 4th of July. So, you know, there's no excuse not to celebrate in every corner of York County. We don't all need to go to Philadelphia. Actually, it's going to be a madhouse in Philadelphia on the 4th of July with the America250 celebrations and the FIFA World Cup. So I'd rather stay home here in York County and celebrate good old York County fashion style. So we're open to questions that any of you might have about the celebrations that we've had throughout the past few years and will continue to have moving forward into next year when we celebrate the Articles of Confederation.
The other thing that we are doing, we received a grant. Heyman Studios is partnering with the county. We are going to do some filming of the events occurring across the county, and that'll be eventually reside with the History Center. So long after we are gone, when people follow us for the 300th and maybe the 325th or they can see what we did here to celebrate our country's 250th.
What questions do you have?
Thank you, Bryan and Julie, for your leadership. Cassandra mentioned the mobile unit that's going out of commission next month. Do you know what's happening with that? And is there a way that York County could commandeer that for our articles of celebration?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we had the exact same thoughts. The mobile unit is actually, it's not only being decommissioned, it's being deconstructed. You know, sometimes art was meant forever, and sometimes art was meant for a limited period of time. That's one piece of art that from the very beginning, it was only going to be for a specific period of time. I too wish that it could continue on and keep traveling around Pennsylvania, but they decided that they wanted it to be, you know, within that window and end on July 5th. Thanks, Ann. Good question. Any others? So not only are we ringing bells across York County, but seeing somebody special in the room reminded me that the original York Liberty Bell resides at St. John's Episcopal, and you're going to be ringing the Liberty Bell there at noon as well. Is that right? That's awesome. Fantastic.
And Bryan and I are going to sleep on July 5th, so don't call us.
Any other questions? All right, well, we're bringing up President Wilda. Julie has a special presentation for her.
So as Bryan mentioned, the project that we did with the Liberty trees in each one of the municipalities was no small feat. And we recognize that it could not have been possible without the 8 Rotary clubs in York County coming together to help us. So in recognition of that, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I know we're pressed for time, but it was really important that we recognize each one of the Rotaries. So I have a proclamation to present to soon, past President Wilda, that recognizes the York County Liberty Tree Project and the Rotary Club of York. So again, big thanks on behalf of Bryan and I to the Rotary Club for helping us.
Well, thank you to Cassandra for helping us understand the scope of Pennsylvania's plans to commemorate our nation's 250th anniversary and highlighting the important role that the Commonwealth played in America's founding. So we appreciate the work of America250PA in bringing communities together around this historic milestone. And thank you as well to Rotarians Julie Wheeler and past President Bryan Tate for sharing how York County will be part of the celebration. As the birthplace of the Articles of Confederation and home to many of the important moments in our nation's history, York has a unique opportunity to engage residents and visitors in commemorating America's 250th. And as Rotarians, we are reminded that preserving history is not simply about looking back, it's about understanding our shared story and inspiring the next generation of leaders and citizens. So thank you for helping to connect our past with our future. And as you know, our speaker signs a book plate that we placed in the book to be donated to the Crispus Attucks York's Early Child Care Program, along with a bookmark made by students at Creative York. This week's book is A Squiggly Story. And next week is our Changing of the Guard meeting, where Doug Berman will be inducted as president. I will take a few moments to reflect upon my journey as your president, and Doug will lay out his vision for 26-27. I hope to see you there. We will definitely see Kevin here again next week. And I've heard, again, this is not the meeting to miss, the Changing of the Guard. This is going to be epic. It's going to be the most amazing induction of Doug Berman. There might be a roast of Doug Berman. If you've ever wanted to know anything about Doug, you're going to hear about it next week. Kevin's got all the secrets. He's got all the tea. It's going to be fabulous. So we will see you all next week, and I get to ring my last adjournment bell of the year.